Hi guys! I'm so excited to be sharing my very first makeup tutorial with you all. I've had so many requests to do one of these videos and I thought, why not today? I've had the time, so I hope you like this look, and if you do like this look, make sure that you subscribe below and to keep watching. I've put some timestamps down below in the description bar so that you don't have to watch everything, because I have jam-packed this tutorial with foundation routine, applying concealer, setting powder, eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, blush, everything. The full face makeup tutorial is here for you to watch. So make sure to leave some comments below and let me know what you thought. See you guys later. Okay, so the first step for this look is to use a face primer. And today I'm going to be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. Primer is very important because it helps fill in any fine lines, pores. You can also get some of these Smashbox primers, and I'm sure there's other primers out there that do the same thing, that can actually color correct or minimize some color pigmentation that you want to not show through in your foundation or your final look. I'm going to be putting the Smashbox all over my face, and I just put a little bit on my hand here and then just rub it in. Try to go downwards on your face so that you do have little hairs on your face. You might not see them, but you don't want to go up because it can make them stand up. So, okay. So we have that all on, and you'll notice like it feels so much smoother. Using primer will help your foundation stay longer all day. Next, I'm going to begin with my foundation. I'm going to be using True Match, L'Oreal Paris's True Match in N1. Now, for foundation, it's really important that you get matched or you know your undertone. You also should know whether your skin is oily or dry, or it could also be a combination of the two. Some foundations work better with oily skin, some foundations work better with dry skin. So usually when you're buying foundation, you'll see W for warm and N for neutral and C for cool. So I'm going to do a little video on those basics about figuring out your undertone and picking out foundations and that kind of thing, but just get matched by someone. For instance, Sephora, they will match you and they'll give you recommendations for a foundation, so that's a great way to start. I know pretty much any makeup counter or any store that you go to will, even a drugstore, they should be able to match you as well, or at least point you in the right direction. So I'm going to go in with my Tools Kabuki brush, and so it looks, I got it from Walmart, and I've heard great things about this Kabuki brush, so I went out and bought it. This is before the whole beauty blender craze. So I'm just going to take my Kabuki brush, put a little bit of foundation on it, and so now I'm going to go in and just fill in my eyebrows. I have this Palladio brow pencil, and so I'm just going to go in and quickly just touch up my eyebrows. It's important to have a good defined eyebrow because it really shapes your whole face. It really defines your eye. It lays everything out. You'll see a huge difference when you define your eyebrow. Okay, so I'm just going to fill my eyebrows in here. So I just lightly, I just make little tiny strokes. So now that I've kind of filled them in a little bit, I'm just going to take there's like a brow wand, I don't know, brow wand. And you're just going to take that, and I'm just going to just buff it out a little bit, I guess, or kind of blend it out. So just kind of pull that color, lighten it up a little bit, especially right here, because I don't want it to look like it's been colored in with a crayon. I'm going to go in with a shade that's a little bit lighter. To me, you're not going to really notice a difference because I'm already really, really light. And it's hard to find a concealer that's lighter than my skin because my skin is so light. So do you see how I've kind of taken, it's like a triangle, triangle, triangle. So I've done that. I'm gonna go back in with my Kabuki brush. Let me get my mirror for this one. I don't want to erase all the concealer I just did. I just want to blend it all in. Some people, they're fine with that. But if I really want to brighten everything up, I'll do in there, in my inner the inner corner of my eyes. I'll do the triangle on my cheeks to brighten those up, and really that's where it highlights. That's where you want the light to fall. I might also, sometimes if I really want to go all out with a look, I'll highlight here and down the bridge of my nose. And sometimes people like to highlight here. You don't have to highlight. You want the things that you want to accentuate or you want to pop out on your face. Those are the things you want to highlight. If you have a nose you don't really, or a spot on your nose that you don't really like, then you don't have to accentuate it by putting highlight on. Now that you have your concealer on to highlight, I have all my liquids done. So that's all the liquids I'm going to be using. So you want to make sure that you set it. I did not do this forever. In high school, I just loaded this stuff on. I loaded it on. I didn't set it. And it didn't look as good. Like, I can't believe the difference of when you set it. I'm going to be using... it's called Maybelline New York Fit Me, and it's a set and smooth for normal to dry skin. It's in the color 110 it's porcelain. It's a powder, pressed powder, and so it looks like, oh, I have my little thing in there. I've used quite a bit of it. So it looks like this. I've hit the pan, so you can tell how much I like this. I like to go in with this little puff that they have put in the package. And I'm really, really going to put a lot of pressed powder underneath my eyes because I want it to set, but I also want to do something that's called baking. And what it is it's just making it so those liquids, that concealer, the foundation, everything, it's bulletproof. It's not gonna move. Now I'm putting more on than what is going to stay there. And it's going to be dusted off before the look's done. It also makes it, when you put lots of extra setting powder down here, it makes it so that if you get some fallout from your eyeshadow, like your eyeshadow falls off your brush onto your cheeks, it's easy to just easily dust the powder away because the eyeshadow will settle on this powder, and when you just dust this powder off, it'll just be your foundation underneath and what is set. It won't end up smudging your face. You won't have to, it won't ruin your foundation. You won't have to start all over again. All right, so now that we have the face all done, we're going to go in and start our eye look. So with this eye look, it is very important anytime you use eyeshadow, unless it's just, you know, an everyday look where you're just putting a little bit of makeup in the crease and that kind of thing. If you're just putting a little bit of makeup in the crease, putting maybe a little bit of eyeliner on and some mascara to go to work, then you don't really need a primer. I don't use a primer. Foundation, you know, going over your eyelids with your foundation like I did in the foundation step, should be enough to keep your eyeshadow on. But if you want to do a full eyeshadow look and you want to stay all day and you want to get the maximum pigmentation out of those colors, then you should be using eye primer. So my favorite is Too Faced Shadow 24-Hour Shadow Insurance. So it looks like this. Okay, so what I do with this is I take it and I put it on my hand here. And I take whatever brush I'm going to go in with for my lid shade. And you should, when you're going in for your lid, like what you're going to be doing right here and pressing it in, you should be using, I mean, this is a brush from the Naked 2 palette. You should be using a brush that's stiffer, like this, or it should just be stiff, okay? You don't want something that's really fluffy. Like this one I might do for my inner corners, but you want something that's a little more stiff that you can really pat in those colors. So I'm going to use this one for today. I'm going to take a little bit of that primer and I'm just going to lightly spread it over my lid. And I do my inner corner too because I'm going to be putting shadow there and I want to stay. So I'm going to go in with the same brush that I just used, and I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette and use the color Verve. I'm sorry, this palette it didn't really hold up for me as much. The pants were falling out. I don't know. I did get good use out of it, but still. I'm going to go in with the color Verve. Right here, it's like a silvery, it has a little bit of gray in there. Silver color. And I'm going to pat that on my lid, all over my lid. Really focusing on the inner 3/4. So, you know, from here, you don't have to go all the way to the end, just right there. And whatever color I'm wearing on my inner corner, I like to just bring it and pull it down in the inner bottom corner too. Okay, now that you have that color on the lid, you want to do your crease. It's important to always have a crease color so that you're not going from the color on your lid to a dark color right off the bat. You need a color that's in between that can blend it all out smoothly. So I'm going in with my MAC 217, my MAC 217 brush, and it's a little bit dirty because I was using it. And I'm going to go in with the color Tease right here. So now we're going to go in and we're going to just start by just touch your brush in the outer corner first in case you do have a lot in there, because it's easier to buff out than if it was like over here. So we're going to put this color Verve and we're just going to buff it all over. And it's okay to buff this, you know, just buff it out. Don't be too scared of this step. This step is very important. It's very important to have your transition color and to buff it out. You don't want any harsh lines. You want it to look as natural as possible. So do you see how I did that? So I just took my brush, buffed back and forth. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Get that color Tease from Naked 2, Urban Decay. Tap off my excess. And now I'm going to go in, start in my outer corner in case I have too much on here. It's easier to buff out that way. And I'm just going to start pulling it across here. I'm going to take that color and I'm going to just get a little bit, tap it, and I'm going to put a little bit under my eye here. Now that I have my lid and my crease transition color all buffed out and all pressed in, then I'm going to now go in with a darker crease color. And for that, I'm going to switch my brushes. I think it's 219. So MAC 219, it's a little, it's, you know, pointed. So this just helps concentrate that darker shade so you don't end up with it all over your eye, because you don't want it all over your eye. I'm going to be going in with the darker crease color. Is going to be Chimney from the Joy to the Girls palette by Too Faced. Love this palette, use it pretty much every day. And we're going to go in with the color Chimney. So right here, this blue color. And so when you're going in with this color, it's really important that you, when you're picking this color up, that you tap off the excess, because you, again, you don't want fallout. So I'm gonna grab my mirror here. And you want to concentrate this really in the crease, in the outer V of your eye. So here's one part of the V. I'm going to pull this down and make the other part of the V. So do you see that? How it makes a V shape? That's where you want to concentrate it. It's easier to do, to have less first and then apply more later, versus have too much at first. It's a lot harder to buff it out, get rid of it, than it is to just slowly apply more as you go. So really concentrate on that outer V. I might bring this in just, I'm not putting any extra on, I'm just gonna pull this over here. I'm gonna go back in with that MAC 217 that I used to blend out that crease. And now I'm just going to buff out and blend out this color that I just put on. So there's no harsh lines. Now I'm gonna take that MAC 217 again and go back in with Chimney, and I'm going to tap that excess away. And I'm going to do the same thing. Maybe I'm just going to concentrate a little bit more just on the outer corner. I'm not going to pull it, you know, up in that crease anymore. And I'm going to also pull a little bit of color inwards in the middle of this V. Pull a little bit of that color in here. And I'm going to take that Chimney again, and I'm going to put I tapped off the excess. I'm going to put a little bit under my eye as well. So now I'm going to go in with my MAC 217. I know I have to look at it every time. I'm so sorry. So my MAC 217 is fluffy brush that I use for blending out. And just make sure that I don't have any harsh lines anywhere. I'm gonna go back in with my 219, because I have to look every time, my 219 brush, and I'm gonna get some coal. And tap that black off, and this is, you're going to go even less here, so just right on that corner and just really carve that out. Bring this down under here too. Tap it. All right, now to go back in with our MAC 217. And we're gonna buff this out. So as you notice, after every time I add another layer, I buff it out. That way there's no way that I can have any harsh lines. All right, so now we're gonna go in. I just want to brighten up my inner corners a little bit. So what I do is if you don't get any other shade, single shade, you need to get MAC Nylon. It looks really yellow in the pan, but it's not. And I'm using this brush that I used before to get the lid color on. I'm just gonna go in, put in my inner corner here. I should really have a mirror for this. I should have a mirror. So do you see how that really popped that side with that having that color? So now that you have those colors all on your lid, you're going to go in with a liquid eyeliner. This is what I recommend. My highest recommendation for liner would be Kat Von D's. This is just a sampler size, but Kat Von D's Tattoo Liner. Love this. I have another one coming in the mail actually for Christmas. But I find sometimes it's not dark enough, this alone. So I will go over it with this Palladio liquid eyeliner. And so what I do is it looks like this. And I start on my outer, just in case I have a little bit too much liquid eyeliner on the brush. Okay, so I have that liner all on. You can see it, I just wrapped it around, and I'm going to take just a little, I don't want to use all of it, just take it all off. I need my mirror for this. And I'm just going to line the bottom. Just oh so gently. Okay, you're not going to keep it like that because it's a little too harsh. So I'm going to take that, the MAC 219, that I always have to look, 219, and I'm going to buff it out. Alright, so now that I have that all done, I'm going to go in with my mascara. I have tried a lot of different high-end mascaras. I have tried stuff from the drugstore. I have never found a mascara that I love as much as this one, and it's a drugstore brand. So it is L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Carbon Black. Love this. Now you can curl your eyelashes if you want. Today I'm not going to. If you want a tutorial on curling your eyelashes, then let me know. So I'm just going to take this. And then I'm going to do my bottom line. Some people don't like to do this. I do. I think it makes your eyes pop. Alright, so now that my mascara is all done, I'm going to go in with a clean brush, and I'm just going to dust away all that powder that I had, all that excess powder. I'm going to go in with a brush, and I'm going to be using Too Faced Pink Leopard Blushing Bronzer. And it looks like this. All-time favorite. Highly recommend. And I'm just going to pull it up. Not too far in, but just along this hairline. Just to give me, I'm so light. Make me a little bit darker. Something over here. To go in with a highlight, which I bet you can guess. I'm going to be using MAC's Nylon. I know. Alright, so I've decided to go in with NYX's Butter Gloss in Apple Strudel. And it looks just like this. I'm gonna go in with my Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. So right here, and you just spray this, shake it up really good. You just spray it in a T pattern and then an X pattern, and this just helps all of your makeup just set, and it helps it last longer. Truly. I hope you've enjoyed watching my video, and I hope you've learned a little bit about how I do my makeup. And if you like what you saw, make sure you just subscribe below. So I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you later.